Welcome to the Stizzy Chronicles. I'm Stizzy, and on this channel, I chronicle my life as an RV newbie. Now, I am preparing to relocate once again, but before I do that, there's a few things that I need to install on the RV because for the very first time, I'm going to be using the RV to tow my car. Now, since purchasing my RV, I have relocated a few times. The first time, it was Las Vegas to Pahrump. At that time, I drove the RV and I had a friend drive my car. The second relocation was from Nevada to Pennsylvania. During that cross-country trip, I decided to hire someone and I shipped my car from one location to the next. The third move was from Pennsylvania to Florida. During that relocation, I drove the RV down, booked the flight, flew back up to Pennsylvania, and then drove the car down. This time I'm going to be relocating from Central Florida to Northern Florida. And I've rented a tow dolly from Uhaul. And for the first time when I relocate, all the vehicles will be relocated at the exact same time. Now luckily, the RV comes with a few things that gets me prepped and ready for this trip. First, we do have the lights have already been wired. However, I am going to need to install a kit in order to be able to hook the vehicle, my RV, up to the trailer, the tow dolly. And then we also have a hitch receiver, but I need to purchase an actual hitch. Uhaul uses a 4-pin system, so I had to get this kit in order to install on the RV in order to allow the lights from the RV to transfer over to the lights on the tow dolly. I also purchased this conduit to make sure the wire that will be exposed was protected. Now, one thing to note is that they do have parts intended for the vehicle. In my case, that would be the RV. And then they also have parts that are different intended for the item that's going to be towed. The wires on the connector are color coded, so it makes installation pretty easy. And they also give you these splices that I didn't know how to use, so I didn't. Now, as I mentioned before, the wires on the connector are color coded. As you can see, they match the same colors that appear in this black box. I just simply need to push one of these little tubes back, expose the wire on the connector, and simply stick it through. Here's a better angle of it all. Now it's time to install the connector. Now there is a little hook at the very bottom where the excess wire will come out. I'm just simply unscrewing that in order to make it accessible. The conduit comes in a few different sizes, so I am just testing to make sure I purchased the right one. Another cool thing about the kit is the connector has everything labeled. For example, the ground wire is labeled, the brake lights are labeled, so if by chance one of your lights do not work, you know exactly which wire needs to be uninstalled and adjusted. Now back to the installation. At this point in time, I'm trying to get all 4 wires separated and then I'm going to need to get them exposed. I'm measuring out the conduit and making sure it's attached to the connector to protect anything that's going to be exposed to the elements. For those of you who are wondering, well, why didn't you use black electrical tape? Because I didn't have any. This is what I had. Now this is the moment where I made life a little harder on myself because I do have a tool that allows me to strip wires. However, I didn't feel like looking for it. So I ended up just using the scissors instead, which of course took longer. Now that the wires are exposed, I just got to get them into these little connection pieces, which really wasn't too hard. However, they are a little old, crusty, and dusty. So pushing it kind of took a little bit of from time to time. I started off with the outside track, but then I decided let me keep it pretty and make life a little bit easier by putting everything on the inside track. So it goes straight down the middle, and then I just got to adjust the conduit, cut it, boom, boom, pow. That is pretty much installed. For those of you who are towing a vehicle, what are you doing with the light system and how are you organizing it? I just simply wrap mine around the bumper, but I feel like there may be a better way, a more efficient way to do this. Let me know in the comments. The lighting system is now installed. The only problem is I won't know if it actually works until I get the trailer and then we can test to make sure that the lights from the RV translate to the lights on the tow dolly. Now, the reason I went with the 4-pin system is simply because U-Haul has 4 pins with their dollies. I know that there are other systems that go off for a 7-pin system, but this is what's going to work for us for this particular drive. The next thing I need to do in order to get the RV ready is to actually buy a hitch. So we're about to head to the store and see what's available. Ideally, I like to get one with an adjustable drop and rise, but we're going to have to see what's in stock, and it may just be a standard version. We can always upgrade later. Our store run is complete. Now, when I went inside, I was expecting to spend a little bit more money than I did, but I looked out, I found another one that I didn't realize was in stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I have here. Do know that I spent $80, $84 with taxes and such. There are some that are as inexpensive as like $25, $35, but with those, it's no adjustments are allowed. It's just a standard build. So if your tow vehicle or whatever it is you're using to tow is too low or too high, then you have to buy another one. I don't want to have to do that, and I really just, it's my first time, so I don't know if I need a 2-inch drop, a 2-inch rise. I don't really know, okay? So I'm just getting the adjustable, so that just knocks out all those issues. With this brand, we have our 2-inch ball, which is the size that U-Haul uses with their tow dollies. We also have that rise and drop of about 5 inches. And then also it can tow up to 10,000 pounds. I have a small Fiesta. This is definitely overkill, but in the event I upgrade my vehicle, I won't necessarily have to buy a new hitch. On a side note, this little box was heavier than I thought it would be. In fact, all the pieces are pretty heavy, so that's a good thing. This black piece will go inside the RV. These are the pins that keep everything secure, and this metal part is what is going to attach to the tow dolly. And there we have it. The hitch is now installed. The little holes on the side allows you to move that silver piece up and down, and that gives you the drop and rise that you may need in case you need to make adjustments when you're towing a vehicle or a boat or a trailer or whatever it is that you're towing. Now that everything is installed, I now need to break down my site, get the RV road ready, and I can head to U-Haul. Okay, well, we are all packed up, and the funny thing is this is literally temporary because the campsite that we're at, which is a hip camp reservation, we're actually here until tomorrow. I don't even start my trip to my next destination until tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure to get the tow dolly set and ready today, a day in advance. And the good thing with the tow dolly rental, you have, one day, 3 days to return it. So I'm picking it up today, tomorrow's travel day, and then I would have to deliver it the next day. But if I'm lucky, I'll be able to deliver it tomorrow. But either way, we're going to start heading out to U-Haul. One thing they will need to do is inspect the RV to make sure it is eligible for the tow dolly. So they are going to check the hitch that's on there. They're also going to make sure that the receiver, the hitch receiver, is actually attached to the frame. And then they also are going to test the lighting system that I just installed. So here we go. If you've never rented a tow dolly before, someone from U-Haul will walk you through the process before you pull off.
So you take the ramp out like that. Make sure these come out. This moves, so just make sure this in itself is straight.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yep. So just make sure it's straight for your vehicle to come on. Lift this, right? So pull all the way out. So your 2x4s or your 2x8s, it's the clearance. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be over this little edge right here.
Okay.
I've personally never done it, but that's where I was gonna put it. That's probably where it would be. Same thing for this side. When you drive it up, wheels go right over here flush, right?
Okay.
Just make sure that this is centered out with the wheels. So like sometimes the wheel will end up over here or whatever it is, the center of the wheel, you move it to where it's at.
Okay.
And then once you're done getting it up there, then you'll put this over the tire itself, right? It'll strap over like so, just to make sure it's all straightened out. This will go behind this little bar right here. This is once it's over the wheel, right? And then this little loop right here, just get it in there, just through the center. Should do that just till it gets tight with the tire. All right.
Perfect.
And you're good. If you, like I said, when you need to take it off, you just lift and just pull, and it'll come out.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna strap them down just so that they stay in one spot.
Thank you.
And then the last thing, this will go underneath the frame of your vehicle. So we normally recommend like a wheel well, something along those lines. And then you should be good.
Fantastic.
Just when you take them off, make sure you take off that chain.
The chain as well, before I pull that car off.
Yep. Yeah, you don't want that chain in there. And the ramp. Just make sure you put the ramp back in as well.
Before driving off, okay.
Good.
All
Let me
right.
just check out your running lights and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Alright. Let me get your right signal. Alright, that's good. And then adjust your brakes. There you go. You all set.
We passed inspection. We're all hooked up. Now it's time to go, but I do want to give myself a bit of a challenge. I am low on gas, and although I'm probably going to have to stop to get gas while traveling, I want to get gas now before the car is actually on there and get some practice in driving with this Dolly. I know everybody's like, it's not that bad, but right now, since I've never done it before, the nerves are taking me out, but we got to get it done. I forgot. I do have this backup camera. So I'm gonna put this bad boy on there. This will stay in the front. This is my monitor. This is magnetically attached to the RV. I'm gonna put it on the bumper, and I'll at least have a view of what's going on behind me. I'm all set up, and now it's time to pull off. Yes, I was nervous, so I was talking to myself the whole time I was in that RV. Alright. Better hope I don't hit your shit. Oh shit, what's that? Is that me? I don't like that slam. Okay.
Turn right onto Gun Highway.
Alright. Don't hit anything, Okay. Alright. Wide turns. Wide. Go ahead and plan to be in that other lane. Yup. Take your time.
Stay in the right lane.
Oh, geez. I got it. Everything's okay. Alright.
In about 2 miles, turn right onto Sheldon Road.
Okay. Just go ahead and get into the slow lane. Oh, jeez. Almost died. There we go. Let's sure it's flat. Gotta stay below 55. No problem. Go around. Yep. Good job. Currently at 30, and that's good enough for me. As far as I'm concerned, I have speed. Alright, I see a gas station, Circle K. Are we going to turn before the circle? Well, the turn is after. Might as well get some gas. Gotta practice. Okay. Alright, go slow. Wait, now where do I go in? Not there. Really. I just feel like, are you big enough? You're big enough. You're big enough. Let's go ahead. Wide turn. Whole body pass. Okay. Take it slow. Take it slow. Red car. Do me a solid and move. We're good. We're good. We're good. Just taking up this whole parking lot though. Alright. Okay, still good. Everybody's safe. Everybody's safe. Take your time. Take your time. These people can wait. Okay? Let's get it where we need to be. Alright. Alright. Where's the gas? Where's the gas? About right there.
In 6.8 miles, turn right onto Let's Lake Fern Road.
First obstacle. Let's go. So far we're doing okay. Made it to the gas station. Didn't hit anybody, anything. Granted, I still gotta leave the gas station, so let me go ahead and... I don't see any wood, but... Let me just fill up and take my time getting out of here and continue on back to the campsite. I'm officially back at the campsite, and although it was nerve-wracking, it wasn't horrible pulling the tow dolly. Of course, the true test is pulling the tow dolly with the car on top. I'm gonna be loading that tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up really early in the morning, probably like 3 o'clock. The bad thing is at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's still gonna be dark, but I don't wanna have to worry about traffic. And with the tow dolly, it says that I should only be driving 55 miles per hour. So the trip that would be regularly about 4 hours in a car is going to be probably 6, maybe 7, depending on how many times I stop. And I want to make sure that I hit the road early enough to be there on time. Moving this dolly, this tow dolly, is not fun. I was considering whether or not I would go the route of purchasing a tow dolly, or if I would just get a base plate on my car and then flat tow my car. I don't know how people do it, because that thing is heavy. It's awkward. Moving it around when it's not on the vehicle is not fun. So I don't know if I'm going to go that route. We're going to see. I got a little more time with it. But the first 2 steps are done. Installation, pickup, tomorrow, loading the car, and actually driving. Wish me luck. It's officially travel day. It's a little after 4:30 in the morning, so I don't really have any sunlight. However, where I'm staying, there is a light that's pretty much kind of right above us. I'm going to use that to help with the process. As of now, all I've done was broken down the RV. Everything has been disconnected. I will attempt to pull the RV up forward just a bit, get it close to where the tow dolly is, get the tow dolly connected, just enough to get it out of this yard, so I don't have to pull it, because I did try to pull the tow dolly yesterday. It is heavy. My body definitely feels it. So I'm going to use the RV the best I can in order to get it pulled out into the street, which is paved. Once I'm on paved ground, paved level ground, I'm going to completely attach the tow dolly, and then we're going to go ahead and load the car. Now, it is recommended through Uhaul that once you get it loaded, to definitely pull over maybe the first 5 miles, and again the first 50 miles, and then again every break or gas break to recheck everything. So I will be doing that. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and load the tow dolly on the RV, get it as far out to the street as possible, load the car, and then once everything's secured, I'm gonna go ahead and get to another location that's well lit, leveled, make sure everything is secure, recheck everything before hitting the road. And of course, I'll stop multiple times to recheck when I'm filling up on gas. am so happy I was able to get the RV out as well as the Dolly all the way out on the street. I did have to stop, get out, and move the neighbor's trash can and recycle bins, but once I was moved, I was able to swivel out there. I was worried I wouldn't be able to. Now I'm moving the car, getting it close up to where the tow dolly is, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything's properly connected, because with the tow dolly I just put on the main hitch tail and then also the safety cables. There's a few other things that I need to put on that I didn't, just because I was just moving a short distance, but now I'm going to make sure everything is secure as well as the car. Okay, so we have our safety cable. They do want you to crisscross it, so that's coming from the right side and it's attached to the left side. Here on the RV, there's a second safety cable, which is here. That is crisscrossed and attached on the other side. This red cable is the brake system on the tow dolly, so if everything else gets disconnected, once this pulls, it applies the brakes to the tow dolly, so you don't have to worry about your car and the tow dolly just driving down the road. I just want to take this time to let y'all know that doing this at night was not the bestest of ideas. Now, in my mind, I planned on doing it at night so I didn't have to worry about morning traffic, but just because you see me doing it at night for the first time by myself does not mean you should do it at night by yourself for the first time, because it just made the process so much harder, longer, and it stressed me out in the end. Don't do this. Uhaul has a lot of videos on their YouTube channel showing you how to load the tow dolly. For my vehicle, it was recommended that I actually get some wood blocks to put underneath the tires because of clearance issues. However, once it was actually on the tow dolly, I realized I didn't need that. But for vehicles that are low to the ground, this is a step that you may need to take in order to make sure you don't damage your vehicle when you drive it up on the tow dolly. Now I'm getting in the car, getting prepared, talking myself into doing the next terrifying thing, which is actually driving the car onto the tow dolly. Once again, I will recommend that if you are doing this for the first time, do not do it by yourself and in the dark. Now it can be done by yourself, but once you add the in the dark part to it, it makes things really difficult. Now I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And when it was finally time to drive on this dang on thing, I was scared, okay? I was scared. Because in my mind, all I could imagine was me driving over the ramp, past the part my tires were supposed to go onto, over the dang on tow dolly. Now the question is, did that happen? Y'all finna find out right now. I done dropped my dang on camera. This isn't no cool special editing transition. This is my camera face down on the ground. The expensive camera. I done messed around and broke the dang on thing. And the thing that really pissed me off, I ain't even make it onto where the tire's supposed to be. After all that noise, all that movement, and I ain't even make it over the main hump. So now I gotta get back in the car and try it again. But one thing that I did smarter this time around was made sure not to put the camera on the bumper of the RV. Good thing is I have insurance, so I'll be making the claim. Now that the car is successfully on the tow dolly, I got to make sure everything's secure. They want to make sure that your wheel doesn't move around, so I had to use my seatbelts in order to get it pretty much locked. I had to adjust the height of the seatbelt from the side here. I have it as far down as I can possibly get it, and then the seatbelt itself is wrapped around the steering wheel. These steps were taken from the YouTube video that's provided from Uhaul showing you how to actually load your car on the tow dolly. The next steps ensure that your vehicle is secured to the tow dolly itself. This was explained by the Uhaul associate when I picked up the tow dolly, and it's also included in their YouTube videos. The chain that's hanging from the tow dolly needs to actually go around the frame of your vehicle. I'm just looking underneath the car to figure out what that actually means. And once again, YouTube for the win on this one because they walk you through this process on the Uhaul videos. Okay, so everything is officially loaded. I am just, of course, going to go to another location where I have a level ground. It's fully lit just to check everything once again. One of the straps that goes around the frame of the car is missing the S strap. I think that's what it's called. So that makes me a little uncomfortable. However, they say that particular chain is there in the unlikely event that the car, gets detached from the tow dolly. But in the meantime, just got to get out of this neighborhood. Getting this set up for the first time took way longer than expected. I'm by myself. I'm in the dark, so it kind of makes sense. So 5-minute setup is not how long it takes under these conditions, just in case anyone's wondering, because the Uhaul video probably is about 5 minutes long. My situation took much longer. I don't know how many miles I drove, but the second check was about 2 hours later. I just pulled over at a gas station just to make sure everything was secure. There were a few things that had moved a bit. As you can see, this strap is no longer going straight down the center of the tire, so I do need to fix that. And the second thing that changed on that 2-hour drive was the placement of the tires. They were flush, but now you see this passenger side tire is pushed back a bit. Now, because I did not want to drive down the ramp and drive back up again, I took the chance. I made sure that the chains were secured, and I just crossed my fingers and went back on the road. And I just made a mental note for my third stop to definitely check the placement of the tires. During the third stop, I did get some gas, and this was about an hour and a half later. And the weird thing is, the tires switched. So one is flush, the other one isn't. It may be because of the wood that the tires are on. I really don't know what caused that, but since everything was still attached to the tow dolly, I figured it wasn't a problem. The straps also needed to be tightened after each stop, and that made me nervous because I didn't understand why I wasn't staying tight. This is the first time that I really had to use ratchets, so this type of movement may be normal. It just unlocked a new fear for me. So before pulling off, I probably tightened those straps at least 3 times before I finally got on the road after each check. Now, after a while, I started to get comfortable with the idea of the tow dolly and the car being behind me. I kind of debated on whether or not I would stop a final time since I was so close to my destination. What helped me with this was actually seeing an accident on the road where a truck had flipped over. As you can see, there was a mail truck involved. Mail was all over the place, so I thought to myself, just stick to the plan. Although I had discussed an arrival time with my host at the new destination, it wasn't a requirement that I arrive at that time, so I decided to prioritize safety. I called them and let them know it was going to be a little longer before I arrived. I also explained the situation, then I pulled over again and checked everything one last time. After several checks and after driving as slow as humanly possible, I made it to my final destination. As a whole, towing the car was not that bad. It definitely did add some time to my travel time, more than I expected. Loading it at night was a terrible idea. Loading it by myself at night was a terrible idea. I think it took me like an hour, maybe a little bit more, to get this car on this dolly because I was so worried. Now, as far as towing the car, my biggest fear at first were making sure that I did wide turns. After a while, I was comfortable with that. I was okay with that. I was okay with the car being towed. In fact, I really didn't feel it. It didn't really affect the RV at all. What I wasn't really a fan of is every time I did stop to check, look at the straps, look at the tires, it made me nervous seeing how it was different every time I stopped. That probably was the most stressful thing out of everything, because I was just scared my car was going to fall off this dang on dolly and it would just be rolling down the highway. Luckily that did not happen. In the future, I am curious about how it'll be if I flat tow it. I'm a little uncertain about the dolly, the tow dolly at this point, but in all fairness, when I first started driving the RV, I was uncertain about that, and now I'm comfortable with it. So I know with practice and doing it a little more frequently, I would be comfortable with the tow dolly as well. But I'm still curious about flat towing the vehicle behind the RV. Now the only thing that's left is actually unloading the car and then taking the tow dolly back to Uhaul to return it. So we're going to do that now. As to be expected, taking everything down and unloading the vehicle was so much easier. The only thing that I was nervous about was the fact that I'm on grass and this is not level land. However, I was able to do everything successfully. It being daytime helped as well. Once I got to the drop-off location, the thing that I dreaded the most was moving the tow dolly, and I struggled once again. If you are in an RV and you tow a vehicle, do you prefer to flat tow or do you prefer using the trailer or a dolly? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.